Welcome to the finals of PA Kart Meet 2024. Brody here for the finals. We got 4 great competitors. This is actually the exact same finalists that we had last year. So rematch here between Lou, DK, Rob, and Hattok. This year's winner, of course, will receive, not that. If they receive that, I wouldn't come to this meet. This special commemorative PA Meet 2024 hat and a shirt shipped to them in 2 to 4 business weeks. Likely 2. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the comms off to Jed and Hydration, and we're going to get these finals underway.
All right, folks, we've had 2 wonderful days of Mario Karting here, and I've got Hydration here on comms with me, and I think we're getting ready to get started here. Players are itching to go, and we are just jumping into Luigi Raceway already. Let's see. As we get started here, all 4 players get the quick start, get the boost in this first set of item blocks. DKTsunami misses an item, everyone else gets one. Got a blue shell for Hattok. Interesting, not choosing to use it yet while first place is right in front of them. Lou uses a speed burst, gets the cut, is well on first, and now Hattok chooses to use the blue shell. That does take out Lou, knocking them further back. And Hattok, DKTsunami, and Lou all have triple mushrooms. iMathII might want to be using the red shells here, and indeed does. And Hattok hits the post. That's a rare slowdown. Hattok in first, coming through to the second lap, and does get hit by a red. Luigi Raceway, often a chaotic course. Lou with the shock lightning bolt, waiting to use it though, perhaps until somebody tries to take a cut through. And nobody else has any items, so just clean driving here to make up any time. iMath does get shocked now, as does everyone else, and Lou also grabs a blue shell despite now being in first, so they are able to hold on to it. Now you've got triple mushrooms for both Hattok and DKTsunami. Should be able to make up some time there, as iMath also picks up triple mushrooms, and Lou still with the blue shell. So if anybody does try to pass Lou, they may just get hit by that, leaving them in a kind of a precarious position. The Hattok does steal a shell from Lou, but the blue shell still there behind, which will make them very difficult to take. Hattok picking up 2 red shells, another blue shell. Lou all the way from first to last fires the blue shell, but might not have time. Hattok does get taken out by 2. DKTsunami in first, Hattok right behind iMath in 3, and Lou's blue shell not able to defend first place, ends up taking 4th.
Wow, what an incredible end of the race. You know, this is a great thing about Mario Kart. It's the most interesting. This is what keeps people coming back. You know, Lou had it in the bag. You see, first place, had a blue shell for anyone that passed. One small thing comes by, and it just barrel rolls into the next thing, and your race is over from that.
All right, all 4 players getting the burst again. We're seeing high-quality gameplay from everyone. It's, as they said, same finalists as last year, showing just how, there's a lot of luck in Mario Kart, a lot of skill, too. Lou did choose to circle back for items, got triple mushrooms. DKTsunami with the 2 red shells. It's such a short course here that any mistake is hard to make up, and item RNG can play a large role. Hattok off into first already. That would be great for them if they could get 5 points out of these first 2 rounds. DKTsunami certainly close behind, and Lou with the star coming for DKTsunami. Let's see what happens here, and does hit them, stays in the course, but DKTsunami does have a lightning bolt, should be able to get a bit back into this and keep it close. Lou has a shock of their own. Will be interesting to see how late they choose to wait to use this. DKTsunami with 3 reds, already passes into second without them, makes good use of that lightning bolt to pass from 4th to 2nd. Hattok in first, going under the bridge, gets hit by a red shell, doesn't cause a tumble though, because they were spinning out at the time, but now gets slowed down quite a bit in second, and Lou with the star passing all the way to first. Lou, red shell and a star, great positioning for lap 3, but of course if another lightning bolt comes, that could change everything. Hattok in second, but DKTsunami in third, also getting knocked down. And just now, Hattok is entering lap 2. Lou has a quite commanding lead, for as commanding as you can get in Moo Moo Farm. Let's see. Hattok with 3 mushrooms trying to just secure second. Everybody with triple mushrooms aside from Lou, who is in first, but I don't think that will be enough to catch first place, so it's just a battle between the other 3 of them at the moment. Lou runs into a mole, goes over some other mole holes, but doesn't get hit again. Will be securing 3 points. Will make up for the last in Luigi Raceway. Hattok trying to come away with 5 points from the first 2 courses. Certainly a great result. And DKTsunami will not apparently be able to catch up with iMath. So iMath gets third once again with 2 points. Everybody in that 2 to 5 range.
Yeah, Moo Farm is such an interesting course. On one hand, there's no major shortcuts, so it's mostly a run track. You get ahead and you stay ahead. But on the other hand, there's also a lot of luck at the beginning. Items. There's not a lot of difficult driving or tech, so it's a lot on how you use your items early, leading into the rest of the race.
All right, and we are off with Koopa Troopa Beach here, one of the most unique maps with the shortcut through the hillside that makes the ramp to take the cut a super important strategic aspect of this course, blocking it off, and also whether or not you can make the backup to the jump without taking it, as we see iMath trying to go for it here, but is not. Lou is the best through the first lap, as Hattok and DKTsunami are battling for second, but iMath still struggling with the shortcut and finally choosing to go around. That's losing a lot of time there. Hattok in second with a star. iMath also has a star here. DKTsunami with the golden mushroom trying to catch up on the other 3. Lou trying to defend their path. Both of the top 2 make the shortcut. Hattok with the star. Lou takes the inside line to avoid it, but does spin out there. Hattok in the lead going into lap 3, as DKTsunami is a bit behind still and spins out, and iMath might be catching up to DKTsunami a bit here going through the tunnel, but we still got a battle for first place. Hattok will need to make this in order to feel comfortable, but the shock prevents it. Hattok now having to go for the backup while small. This is a very difficult trick, and Lou very well may become unshrunk by now. Lou also makes it, but has red shells. We're going to have a very close race for the finish line here if they are able to make it before the red shells, and they do get it. First place for Hattok, 7 points through the first 3 maps. Lou with a solid 5. DKTsunami is going to be able to pick up the point, and iMath, unfortunately, is not able to make up for those tunnel issues.
The main thing with this track is that tunnel. You saw iMathII miss it on the first lap, and that killed his entire race. If you make it, you can gain so much time, but if you miss it, then you lose so much. Next up, we move on to Calamari Desert, a very item-heavy track based on the off-road, but I'll let Jed talk about that.
All right, there's so much going on here. It's hard to cover everything. We are getting off to Calamari Desert here, though, as we pass through the first item blocks. Hattok with a blue shell, very close behind the front 2, so when to use that will be interesting. DKTsunami choosing to hold on to the 3 red shells, even though all 3 leaders are in front of them, and hits a bomb, so will be taken out, but has decent items and won't get another 4th place item. Hattok able to trail that blue shell behind them, so if other players run into them, it's not destroyed. The blue shell has more durability than the other items, which is an important thing if you are able to get into first with it. Very difficult since you can't pick it up in first except out of specific item blocks. Golden mushroom for Lou, but I think they slowed down perhaps to avoid the red shell from DKTsunami. DKTsunami in second, entering second lap with Lou right behind, and iMath being large is able to pass both of them, and now in second. Hattok still in the lead here, but a boo from iMath. They use it, but somehow doesn't manage to steal anything. I'm not sure what the exact timing was there. Lou with the triple mushrooms. I think that was a backstipe from iMath hitting DKTsunami. So Lou is going to be using the 3 mushrooms to pass through the off-road section, saving quite a lot of time there, although I think there's shells trying to come for them. We'll see how they can finish out this lap. Hattok in first, iMath in second with the red shells. Lou in third, trailing some bananas. Lots of bananas here. If there's a collision, that could cause some debris for the final lap. However, nothing happening before the finish line. So we've still got Hattok, iMath, Lou, and then DKTsunami with 3 red shells might be able to hit somebody here and clean up. iMath was just hit, as was Lou. So that's giving DKTsunami certainly a little bit of a chance here as Hattok tries to secure yet another first place for a good mushroom cup. Picking up an item here, DKTsunami with 3 mushrooms that will be necessary to make up some time, although Lou has 2 mushrooms of their own. Hattok just layering some debris with mushrooms in this off-road section. Lou getting hit by a shell. DKTsunami still trying to gain an extra point at the very least as Hattok tries to make the final drive for the finish line. Only has a mushroom to defend, but without any offensive items coming, I think that will be enough. iMath defends second place, just trailing a shells behind. And DKTsunami does come through at the very end with a star in order to pick up an all-important point.
Wow, what an incredible race. I think this shows why MK64 can be so great. It's a pretty simple track when you think about it. It's just 1 or 2 very long turns and 1 obstacle in the train, but it leads to such interesting races as we just saw. Now, as we move on next, we're going to the Special Cup, DKJP, one of the most complicated tracks in the game, both with the ramp, the strategy, everything. Let's see how it goes.
Yes, DK Jungle Parkway is certainly one of the trickiest tracks to race, especially on 150cc mode where it is much easier to spin out, go into the off-road section, and on DK Jungle Parkway, when you're in the off-road, coconuts will come out of the walls to try and hit you, so it can greatly affect your, those also destabilize your driving, make it even easier to spin out once again. Anyway, halfway through this first lap, we have Lou in first, again with a blue show trailing. We've been seeing that a lot. And then DKTsunami just moved in up to second. Hattok tries to take a shot, doesn't quite connect, but with 3 shrooms, this tunnel strat could be interesting. Hattok choosing to hold back slightly to avoid the blue shell, now making a move, but I think the blue shell took the long route through the tunnel, and now it's coming through. DKTsunami getting hit. Hattok in first with the lightning bolt that should be able to slow everybody else down at the jump. This could be a pretty significant amount. iMath choosing to use the star now before Hattok is able to use the lightning bolt to slow everyone else down. Smart usage and awareness of what items were in play. This allows iMath to move into second, not get hit with the shock, and uses 3 mushrooms to try and cut across the grass, but we see those coconuts causing havoc with the driving lines there. Hattok already coming up onto the bridge. DKTsunami chooses to use the lightning bolt rather quickly. Lou moving into the grass. That's another complication of shocks here. If you're in the grass while small, it will shrink you, and you will get squished by the coconuts. DKTsunami with yet another shock. Will they go after Hattok here, or will they try to just pick up second place by targeting iMath? They do go after Hattok. Hattok tries to drive into the wall so that they don't get launched into the water. Very clever hedging of their bets on the gameplay here. DKTsunami just moved into first. Hattok's right behind. iMath also coming over the ramp in third. Lou starting the 4th lap. iMath trying to cut through the grass, trying to catch up to the first 2, and certainly is very close. Close race for second. Hattok is able to take a little bit of a corner cut, is right behind DKTsunami. This might all come down to either the bridge or the tunnel climb. Shell from DKTsunami, and Hattok does get hit by something. iMath passes through but doesn't hit anything. Hattok's trying to make a late climb. iMathII also hit. Who's going to come out in first here? It is DKTsunami followed by Hattok. iMath is on third, and what a wild finish.
Wow. I mean, it appears that, who is it, Rob? Didn't know that it was lap 3. It's sometimes going to get complicated here. There's some long tracks in this game, but you see that ending there. See the ending where you hop up there. That place along with the ramp are 2 very complicated parts of the track. But overall, it's just such a difficult track. Now we go on to Yoshi Valley. It's going to get complicated here, as we don't exactly know what position they are, but we're going to try to help you out as much as possible to see who's leading.
Yeah, with the branching paths on here, there's really 2 main paths. One that goes over a small bridge and one that goes through Spinies. Hattok gets hit off the side. Lou also hit, but manages to stay on the track. DKTsunami, the first one coming up to this tricky hairpin jump. Mistakes here are very costly as you fall all the way to the valley floor before getting reset by Lakitu. Lou also makes the jump. iMath, I think, also did, although I missed it. Hattok spins out, is in a difficult spot, unable to get it. The spin out messed up the line. DKTsunami cutting through the grass takes quite a bit of time entering lap 2. iMath also using a golden shroom to cut time. And Lou going to the right. Seems like everybody preferring the small bridge section over the spiny section today. DKTsunami first to the hairpin jump on lap 2, makes it easily. iMath also makes it cleanly. Lou next up to go, and very fine driving here on lap 2 by everyone. DKTsunami first coming up to second. It looks like the positions right now are DK, iMath, Lou, and then Hattok currently in last, but with a blue shell and a golden mushroom, we'll be trying to pick that up. DKTsunami getting drilled by some shells, so iMath actually passes, but DKTsunami launches their own shell back, able to secure first, as Lou also fires a shell. So lots of strategic usage of red shells here. Hard to use on this track with all the twists and turns, but that open area is one spot that you can. DKTsunami, final chance at the hairpin, makes it cleanly, but spins out. That 150cc spin out causing the damage. Lou barely stays on as iMath falls out. Lou suddenly in the lead here, ending into the finish line. We'll see if anybody gets any shrooms to come across the grass here, but if not, this certainly looks like it. And the blue shell finally connects. I was going to say Lou might have it, but this is actually going to be close with DKTsunami. Very close race. Who's going to do it? Within frames. Lou does hold on to first, followed by DKTsunami. iMath following up in third. Wow.
You know, I love the Yoshi Valley ending. I love it so much. You know, you don't know what place everyone's in, and most people go to the grass on the left to get to the finish line closer. So you don't see the finish line. You don't know who's ahead of who, and that's what makes for such interesting finishes on this track. Now, next up, we move on to Banshee Boardwalk. Score check, we got DKTsunami in second at 10, Hattok in first with 12, and Lou and iMathII not far behind with 8 and 6 respectively. Banshee Boardwalk, a very difficult track. We'll talk about it more in a second, but the tight turns, the fish that's coming up soon, and all the easy ways to fall off make this track so interesting.
Yes, things can certainly feel like they're getting a bit fishy on Banshee Boardwalk sometime with all the chaos, the lack of railings, the bat house. There's a lot to keep track of in this track, and any mistakes are super costly as you fall into the water before getting reset by Lakitu. It looks like everybody made it through the bat house cleanly, which is pretty impressive. You've got 3 sharp turns in there. Lou does come out from lap 1 in first with DKTsunami right behind with some shrooms. Hattok slows down, looked like, to hit iMath with a red shell. Interesting strategy there as they fall a little bit further behind DKTsunami. We're coming up on the sort of Z-turn. No rails, 2 difficult corners, and if anybody gets a lightning bolt, we need to keep an eye out for that on lap 3, as that is a strategy. Lou hits a banana, but is in a spot where they hit a railing. And Hattok, as you see, even the railings sometimes don't save you as you can go over the wall. iMath hits a banana in the bat house. We're going for the mini shortcut. Does jump over the gap even with the banana, though, so it doesn't fall into the water. But a very strategic banana placement there that could cost someone a lot of time. Lou in first, heading into lap 3. And we haven't talked much about the standings here, but you can see it's very close between everybody. Just 6 points separating first through fourth in this finals. And, you know, this is different from the other 2 rounds where top 2 advance. Oh, and Lou hits the fake item block, very well disguised, and looks like DKTsunami also got hit and then hits a banana and spins out. So Lou is able to recover. iMath falls in the water, going back into fourth. Hattok with the star is able to come up to third, uses some of the immunity frames to take out some bananas, and jumps over the crack here, is able to make it safely. Lou coming into the final corner. DKTsunami does have some mushrooms. Will they spam them before the item blocks? No, just hoping to secure second, it looks like. And Lou is able to take a first place, DKTsunami second. Hattok does a small dodge of that bomb there, and iMath coming in fourth, not quite making it to the finish line.
Wow, what a race. What a race. Next up, we move on to Rainbow Road. One of the longest tracks. Is it the longest track in the game, that in Warrior Stadium? Yeah. Depends on how far you finish, but Rainbow Road is a long track. It's a long, hard, it's also easy to fall off. You know, you may see its railings, but any item you get hit has a chance of knocking you off. It's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be probably about 6 minutes long, but it's gonna be incredible. To start off, we have them going after the Tran, which is a strategy founded by someone in this room, David Tran. But incredible. I'll hand it back to you.
Yeah, folks, we've got a long track here. You can certainly lose quite a lot of time on this Rainbow Road. It's, I think, the only Rainbow Road in this series with railings. But if you get popped into the air with a shell, you certainly can fall off and lose quite a bit of time. If it happens on lap 1, it is a long enough track that you are able to make up that significant disadvantage, but it is difficult, and if it starts happening on lap 2 or 3, then it gets pretty dicey. In addition, we've got these chain chomps that, you know, if you're well-versed in versus strategy, you kind of know where they show up, but certainly the timing's a lot less consistent than in time trials. You know, you're not taking the perfect racing lines at each point. You know, I was talking a little bit about the overall strategy here. This is kind of different than the quarterfinals or the semifinals, where your main goal is just to get the top 2. This is for all the marbles, so I'm sure a lot of the racers are just thinking it's either first or nothing. So as we're about 3/4 of the way through this first lap, we do have Hattok in first, iMathII in second, DKTsunami in third, and Lou was just in last, but fires a shock. He's able to move into third right in front of DKTsunami, but Tsunami has some stars of themselves, and you end up getting a lot of debris and shells on this track also due to the railings following the full length of it. So now Lou is up into first place. DKTsunami in fourth with a star, but not far behind, and does take out iMath, who manages to stay on the track. Lou also gets hit with a red shell here, and just wild first lap here. We've still got 2 more to go, about 4 minutes, and we get a shock here.
Taking over for a second. It's a long track, you know, your mouth gets dry. But yeah, what an interesting race so far. Wow. We have Hattok in first, Lou in second, DKTsunami in third, and iMathII in fourth. They're pretty close together. If you look on the mini map in the middle of the screen, they're pretty close. iMathII is a bit far behind, but Hattok gets hit. Hattok gets hit. So does DK. Wow, this is interesting. Lou with triple mushrooms. So same with Hattok, you use these to try to cut up. Lou's going to try to extend his lead here. Hattok's, good.
All right, just needed to grab some water here. I'm getting real excited about the racing and doing a little bit of damage in my voice, but it is super exciting. I think you can all agree here. Hattok with a star in second place, trying to catch Lou, only a few seconds behind. They've both got triple mushrooms, so Hattok will probably be using those after the star wears off. But iMath with a shock and manages to get everyone, even though I think Hattok fired a star at the same time. Seems like they just lost it. So I know that there are weird cases where you can lose a star. I'm not sure what all the edge cases are. Okay. And DKTsunami with the star does manage to hit Hattok in the dying seconds there. So we are still on lap 2 of 3, a full lap here. Everybody within sight of the finish line. So it's all going to come down to this final lap here. But we do have Lou in first, Hattok in second, DKTsunami in third, and iMath in fourth, heading into this final lap. I mean, really, anybody could finish in any position here. We've got this long straightaway, probably one of the only places you could use a red shell effectively on this course, but because you can get larger gaps, and as I say that, Hattok picks up some red shells, so they're going to have to decide. The timing is close enough. DKTsunami is able to hit iMath, and Lou is hit, and Hattok is hit. We see the chaos here. Even on such a long track, when all the players are so close together, it really adds more tactical options and more chaos here. You know, you got to be prepared for anything, and that's one of the reasons why these top players are able to make it to the finals. As we said, these are the same finalists as last year, showing that the degree of skill in managing the wild situation. Hattok could have moved just into first there, but was kind of blocked off by Lou. And again, Lou playing very good defensive driving. Green shows hard to hit, but gets blocked. And DK comes in to take the item, blocking Hattok from it. iMath off the road. You know, as I was saying, and Lou barely back on. Coming off the road with just half a lap left is pretty terrible. Hattok tries to take out some of DKTsunami's shells, but wasn't able to get all of them. So we'll have to see if these shells are able to make it around the corner, and they both are, taking out one of Hattok's shell and Hattok. And we've got the final 3 within about 2 seconds coming into the finish, dodging the chain chomp. Who's going to take it? Who's first, second, third? Just launching the bananas. And, oh, we get a late fake item block. Lou gets first, DKTsunami second, Hattok third, and iMath unable to recover from falling. And we have 3 players tied at 14 halfway through this finals.
I mean, think about it. That's such a long track, and you have to maintain your driving, maintain your emotional intelligence, your way of thinking when it comes to items and all that. And it's truly an endurance test. And for these competitors to be able to keep it so close for that long, it's just so impressive. Next, move on to another long track, Wario Stadium.
Yeah, we talk about endurance in even individual tracks, but over the course of a match, staying mentally focused, this is a game where the item RNG plays a part and sometimes unpredictable things happen, and just being able to mentally recover is so important. As we talk about the item RNG, we see Lou gets a lightning bolt. That's a very important item for this track with the large jump. If you get shocked as you're trying to go over it, you very likely will fall and have to repeat a section of the track. However, there is a way to cross that jump while small. However, it is rather precise. So we'll have to see if anybody goes for that and whether or not they make it, because it's certainly not guaranteed. Although with these high quality players, they have a better opportunity than most be to get at. Hattok and DKTsunami both with triple shrooms entering the end. iMath choosing to slow down, and finally all 3 of them get hit. And DKTsunami and Hattok run into each other and shrink, which allows both of them to go over the ramp, unshrink earlier than iMath. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it certainly worked out effectively for them. iMath has red shells, hopefully trying to catch up to the other 3 players, as we still have about a solid 2.5 minutes left on this track. Lou is in first here, and as the top 3 players are also the top 3 tied in the match, this could easily be an important determining factor in the overall winner, although we do have 2 full cups left. It might be worth bringing up the tiebreakers in case it's needed in this match. It will be whoever has the most first place finishes if 2 players are tied, and then second and third if we need even further tiebreakers. But if those seem likely, we'll get into that in more detail later. We're starting to come up, approaching the second lap jump. Nobody has a lightning bolt yet, but there is another set of item blocks. And you see iMath still entering that straight away, so not too far behind at all, maybe about 10 seconds. Has some red shells. Hattok with the star. Interesting to see if they will choose to hold on to that, given the importance of lightning bolts on this course. Although first and second place have a small chance to pick up a ghost whenever they hit a block. Oh, interesting. Hattok and DKTsunami both choose to use their stars after iMath picks up a lightning bolt, but iMath chooses to hold on to the lightning bolt and save for it. So, I mean, there is a decent chance that with 2 players going through several item blocks, that one of them could pick up a ghost before we get to the ramp and steal that lightning bolt. But the chance of any individual block holding a ghost is not very high at all. So we do have Hattok in the lead coming through here. DKTsunami in second. Lou now with the star. That's an interesting dynamic, as iMath will probably want to shock everyone, and Lou will have to decide when to deploy the star. Hattok comes through the rolling hills. These are not easy to take cleanly. They might be a little bit easier in 150cc than 50, but certainly Lou just hit the side there, and that's the sort of thing that can cause a tumble if you are unfortunate, depending on where you are on the track. iMath does choose to use the bolt, and Hattok does fall despite trying to slow down. Lou uses the star to get it. DKTsunami gets the backup. Smart knows the strategy. iMath unshrinks as going over, and Hattok has dropped all the way back to fourth, so we see how important the lightning bolts are as Lou is able to secure our first place. iMath very close. iMath trying to get third, is able to get it, and Hattok unfortunately knocked out by the lightning bolt.
Going back to that shortcut for a little, or not the shortcut, to the ramp for a little bit. The shock's so important there, obviously, but why is it important? As we saw there, Hattok fell. which means he fell to a lower part of the course. He didn't fall off and Lakitu picked him up like you would see in an older game or in a newer game. No, he had to drive that whole long corner again. So it's so key to use the shock there, have the chance to follow someone down. If not, they might have to wait or go for a very difficult strategy with a lot of potential downsides. That's why the shock is so important on that track, and using it effectively can make or break a race.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Hydration. You know, we're playing Mario Kart 64, and some of the design philosophy is different than the newer games. You know, we don't have bullet bills, and while the item RNG is tilted to better items in later places, it's not as severe as in some of the newer games. As Lou gets hit by a shell, gets knocked back into fourth and does back up to pick up an item, does get a shock, so they'll be happy about that, and a star, so that standing a couple of seconds to get some items may have paid off for them. But iMath is able to finish lap 1 in first. DKTsunami has a boo and is unable to trigger it before Lou fires a lightning bolt. Lou effectively moves to second, and Hattok, I think, hit a penguin and got squished. The penguins in the cave here, they're pretty slow moving and on cycles, so they are predictable. But in a versus situation, especially with people dropping debris, it can be hard to find a clean line and know exactly where they will be. Lou coming through the tunnel in first, but iMath with 3 green shells right behind, certainly trying to see if they can catch them. Currently unable to, but they're only a couple seconds apart, and DKTsunami and Hattok with some better items right behind. DKTsunami gets a golden mushroom right after and is able to use it, but gets taken out by the red shells by iMath, and that just allows Lou to pull even further ahead. And now we have a shock, and iMath falls in the water. One thing we haven't brought up here is you do get placed in an icicle here, and it's harder to clean, and gets hit by a penguin too. Lou, DKTsunami, and Hattok in the final corner. Who's going to take this? DKTsunami with the mushrooms. Lou, I think, has it. Goes for the swag finish, as does Hattok. Bold move going for the finish off the side when it's such a close race, but it does pay off for Lou, who now has 20 points.
Yeah, these players are prepared to go for anything for the chance to get an extra point. You know, all of them went for the ending on the left side because the finish line is closer on the left side, to the point where they jump off the track to get a better angle. Just a score check: Lou with 20, had DKTsunami in second with 18, Hattok with 15 in third, and Math with 7.
Yeah, we certainly have a tight battle here for first place and overall champion. I did face Lou in the quarterfinals, and certainly a strong competitor. You know, they could easily clutch this out. They gained some points on these later courses there, so we'll see if they'll be able to repeat it. Right now we've got DKTsunami in first place with a red shell. Hattok coming up in second. Only gets a green shell, not great. This is another course where lightning bolts are important. Lou and iMath trading off shell hits, so both of them falling behind, but as they're fighting for each individual important point, all players, it looks like we're not going to have any issues with lightning here. So all players going over the ramp. Still not a huge gap, although first and second are very close, as is third and fourth. iMath chooses to stop so that they can get a fourth place item, and does pick up an all-important lightning bolt here. So that strategy looks like they got basically what they probably wanted. Hattok's got a red shell, and we see DKTsunami with the fall, but the red shell actually passes, and Hattok moves into first place before it locks on, allowing DKTsunami to stay a little bit close. Just a green shell, choosing to hold it behind at the moment, but maybe if they get closer to Hattok, they might try for a snipe, or they just manage to pass and hit them with the dragging shell. So DKTsunami picks up a little bit of a lead here, very close though, and iMath choosing when to use this shock. I wouldn't be surprised to see it soon, and indeed, there it goes. iMath dodging several green shells. Lou, I think, got knocked off the ramp there and falls off the other side. That can really kill a run. DKTsunami going for the backup. Oh my goodness, I didn't even mention that. That is a very hard backup, probably even harder than Wario Stadium, because you have to get the angle correct and then do a series of small jumps as you are shrunk, and if you miss any of them, you can easily fall into the water. But iMath in first after that clever lightning bolt strategy. DKTsunami with a great backup to still be in second, and Hattok picks up mushrooms in third. So they might be able to pick up some time as they are well within sight of the others. It'll be interesting if they cut through. And DKTsunami hits a bomb. That is certainly an opportunity for Hattok. And Lou picks up a lightning bolt here, although they are rather far behind, to be frank. Hattok fires a ghost, which does provide immunity from lightning, but I think it's about to wear off. So what will be the strategy here? Yes, they go for it, although iMath does make it, and DKTsunami going for the strategy. Hattok, even with the spin out, manages to make it. A very impressive play. DKTsunami falling in the water. We'll see if Lou is able to pick up 1 point after that. But iMath with some great driving and great strategy getting first. Hattok with the backup manages to pick up the extra second point. We've got a blue shell coming from Lou, so it's not quite over here, but DKTsunami with some careful driving should be able to make it to the end. Lou going for the illegal shortcut, which wouldn't have counted here, but is pretty fun. Great race from everyone.
Yeah, I just want to comment on that thing on the cannon. You know, in the cannon, since it is technically considered a cannon, you dodge the shock if it's used during that point. So they like to use it beforehand, which makes it really difficult. I was trying that strat earlier when you're small and doing the hops. It is not easy. Both getting the right angle and getting those hops, and it's super impressive to see them doing this.
Yeah, I actually saw that Lou also pulled off that strategy in the semifinals and had been practicing it before. But so it's a very difficult strategy, but some very impressive players. As we get into Bowser's Castle, 90-degree turns here, thwomps moving, very hard to stay clean racing lines or even any racing lines. Honestly, you shouldn't be worried about how efficient you are as long as you can get through things. That's much better than any of the mistakes you can make here, which are super costly. DKTsunami has a ghost and a second ghost. Very interesting. We've got some shells in third and fourth here coming through the spiral. Not easy to use red shells here, although the green shells Hattok is firing can cause some chaos as they just tend to bounce around. Most of the course is indoors, so it's hard for them to go anywhere until they hit anything. Hattok in first. Those moving thwomps will track the first player into that long corridor, so it can be a bit of a danger. And as we see these sliding thwomps, it's basically impossible to know where you are in the cycle without the timers here and without the consistent racing line, so you just have to react, and if you get a bad time, it can really cause you to spin out. We get two players swishing each other. This might allow Lou to move all the way from third into a group with first, but it seems like all three of the top three players are right there. This is going to be super close. I mean, these players are also only separated by 3 points, so the difference between first and third here could make the difference for a title, certainly with only 1 cup to go after this race. And Lou gets hit by one of those stray green shells that I mentioned. DKTsunami with a red shell in the first place, so it's Hattok runs into it. Very difficult to make a pass on somebody with a red shell, but quickly gets back on their feet as DKTsunami now hits one of the spin. But Toad hits DKTsunami. I will note all players have the same stats here, so we don't have to worry about the weight classes, but running into a stopped character at full speed. When will DKTsunami choose to use this shock? This could be an extremely important decision coming in here. Lou falls in the lava, as does Hattok. iMath stops. This looks like it's going to win the round for DKTsunami, who moves up to 22 points. iMath will take second. Lou and Hattok will have to be battling for just 1 point. And another shock from Hattok. Lou goes for the snipe, gets this hit with the red shell, but it's not enough as it's so close to the finish line. Item RNG, but also some very smart strategy from everyone.
Wow. I mean, I've said this so many times, but what an incredible ending to that race. I mean, you have the target shock off the ramp, and then you have that ending. I mean, what is there to say? But, you know, I want to bring up something. We mentioned it early in the race, but there are 4 races left. There is 1 cup left, the Flower Cup. Toad's Turnpike, Frappe Snowland, Choco Mountain, and Mario Raceway. 4 races to decide who will be the champion of the Pennsylvania Kart Meet 2024. These players have been working so hard over the last 2 days, and it all comes down to these last 4 races. Let's see what happens, starting with Toad's Turnpike.
Yeah, very close battle here for first. And this first set of item blocks, the item blocks are set up in a straight line, or sort of 90 degrees from how they usually are. So if you're the first person through a set of item blocks, you can take them all out, and somebody right behind you will get nothing. We say DKTsunami, the only one with items right now, gets golden mushroom, and now everybody just driving cleanly. Luke smartly takes out all of the items, so Hattok doesn't get anything. DKTsunami able to get some shrooms, and Hattok taken out by a back shot. iMath also has some mushrooms trying to catch up here, and Lou just has a green mushroom, a green shelf, pardon me, and some mushrooms from Hattok. Didn't mention the vehicles on this road. Obviously, they're there. If you run into them, you explode. But the later part of these laps is only 2 lanes. So if you get 2 vehicles side by side, making that gap between them, especially if they're well lined up, will be difficult. Lou just gets hit by a blue shell and a red shell, falling from first to third and unable to pick up another item. Slows down to pick it up and unfortunately doesn't get it, but takes out DKTsunami in the process. So secures third place a little bit, but falls back a bit from second. iMath with some shells. Little bit of good luck there not to get hit by the red shells, as they both hit the green shells even though they weren't fully protected. iMath, just with a rotating green shell and a shroom, decides to take out both of them, try to get something better coming up here. DKTsunami with the golden mushroom trying to catch up to Lou here, not going for items as they can't pick up anymore as that golden mushroom is still active. Hattok with 3 red shells. They might be waiting for a long straightaway, or maybe waiting for the second half of the lap in order to go for it. And some good driving here by everyone trying to avoid these vehicles. iMath a little bit later on that cycle, so those 2 vehicles aren't lined up, giving it a bit of an easier path, but does get chased down by some red shells and leaving a banana bunch for the people behind. Hattok in second with some shrooms, catching right up on iMath, who has to dodge a vehicle. This moves Hattok into first. DKTsunami still with 4 reds, so we should keep an eye on the battle for third. Everyone's very close here. A lightning bolt could certainly mix things up, or a star or golden mushroom could pick up a lot of spikes in a hurry. iMath gets hit, gets docked to second. Lou also gets hit. But gets a star, certainly could make this up. And iMath almost goes off the side of the road. That was big that they didn't fall, although Hattok still is a shroom. And when you are a ghost, you are able to drive through vehicles, although I think it's about to wear off before they get to anything tricky. We'll see what the cycle is here, if anybody has anything particularly difficult in this final straightaway. Lou with 2 red shells. I see some shrooms coming. We've got a bolt coming. We've got several people squished. Hattok barely makes it through. iMath in second. This is a battle for an all-important point for third place. Lou will get third, moves up to 1 point. All of the top 3 are within a point of each other as we have 3 courses left.
I mean, you just cannot make up a better, more interesting situation for a final 3 races of a tournament. You know, Toad's Turnpike's so dependent on where those cars are, and it makes it so difficult. But these players go through it masterfully. Like they know the cycle every time. Even if they don't, they just know how to react. And now we're under Frappe Snowland, another super interesting track where a lot of different things can happen.
Yeah, one very important thing with Frappe Snowland is the snowman throughout the course. They are in static locations, so you can learn where they're. As a blue shell hits the top 2, also Hattok now in first. And additionally, one major difference between this and Toad's Turnpike is no railings. The snow doesn't slow you down that much, so you are able to take minor shortcuts by just going off-road. Not considered shortcuts, just corner cuts here. Hattok barely staying on the bridge here, gets a bounce off. Lou cutting through the grass with the star should save a significant amount of time here, already moving up to third. Hattok's got 2 shrooms as they are passed by Lou, whose star is still active. iMath will be the first one into the snowman field with a green shell. Hattok gets shot over the river, one of the only places you can really fall in and have to get rescued by Lakitu unless you drive out of bounds. iMath doing some off-road driving cleanly. Lou gets hit by a red shell that should increase Lou's lead, although DKTsunami coming up on Lou, trying to get an extra point here. So iMath falls in the water. What a disaster, moving all the way from first to fourth as the top 3 in the match are fighting for the top 3 spots. This is really, this star for Hattok is a huge could come up with 2 big points here, moving from third to first. We've got an extremely tight race between these top 3 here. Could come down to these last few sets of item blocks. We've got a red shell, and Lou hits the snowman. DKTsunami moving into first could increase their lead by another point here. This would be huge going with 2 tracks left. Hattok trying to catch up on them. DKTsunami will get sniped at the end as they spin out, hitting a banana. Lou will tie it up at a tie with 24 points in first as Hattok gets 1. Still 2 points behind in range, but is going to have a good final 2 tracks to keep their hope at a title alive.
It's the littlest things. It's the smallest little things. What line you're on. A kilometer or mile per hour less or more in speed. That depends on who can win a race. You know, so many things happen in that last little bit, and even with so many variables, there must have been only a couple milliseconds between who got first and who got second. I mean, DKTsunami and Lou are now tied for first, with Hattok not far behind with 22. We got 2 races left, Choco Mountain and Mario Raceway, and what an interesting 2 tracks to end it on. It's just going to be incredible. They're currently watching. You guys can't see it, but they're currently watching the replay. See how close it is. Oh, it's incredible. I mean, Mario Kart 64 is, you know, the game is how old now? It came out in like 96 or something like that, and it's still as interesting as ever. I mean, it was wow. I mean, I just watched the ending again. I mean, how do you? I don't know how you commentate that properly, but Jed did a fantastic job. These competitors have been working so hard, as I said before, and I just cannot wait to see what happens next. Whoever wins this trophy, or whoever wins this grand prize, is going to be so incredibly deserving of it.
All right, we are off into Choco Mountain here. Very chaotic course with the long hairpin turn with no railing. Players can fall off, lose about a third of a lap here, and that basically can destroy your hopes of a good finish. So lightning bolts, weapons, everything. This shot could be huge. Lou does fall into the water, but I don't think we'll get put back at the lower checkpoint, so that is 1 consolation prize, but will fall back into 4th. DKTsunami up into 2nd now, but iMathII still playing in 1st place right now, trying to get the 3 points here. All of these are very tough competitors, as we have 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. DKTsunami and Hattok both with golden mushrooms. Lou with 3 red shells, if they are able to get within range, could certainly cause quite a bit of damage to Hattok. DKTsunami in first, but hits a banana as their golden mushroom falls out. Again, 6 red shells now. This could prove to be very difficult. They do pass iMathII, so very cleverly used. 2 of the red shells go into the wall. Lou, I think, was hoping to get another item there, but they were still respawning and unable to get it. DKTsunami shrunken in 1st place. Hattok with 3 mushrooms will be trying to close the lead there. Is unable to get a different item, though, as long as they're holding on to those mushrooms. DKTsunami with a single banana behind just for some protection, but that's not going to do very much, as I believe Lou just fired a blue cell, if I saw that correctly. iMathII does get hit by a bunch of shells, moves back into 4th. Hattok falls into 2nd. Blue shell comes up, hits DKTsunami. This might make Hattok in 1st. We've got a very close race coming around this final corner. Hattok does get a shroom. DKTsunami stealing a mushroom. He's going to try and use it in this final straightaway. Unable to get there. Lou in 4th place. I don't think is going to be able to pick up a point here. Did actually drop their controller. So Lou will be stuck on 24, and we've got 3 players within 2 points going into the final match.
Yeah, 2-point gap between DKTsunami and Lou. Hattok in the middle, 1 separate each of them. I mean, that you can't have a closer final. I mean, it's going to be so close. Any player can win it. Lou no longer controls their own destiny because there's a 2-point gap, but any of them can technically win it. And let's also remember the fact that iMathII's in here. iMathII might not technically points matter anymore, but can still impact the finish of the race so much.
Indeed, and we are getting into it in Mario Raceway. Just as a note, if Lou wins and DKTsunami does not get 2nd, Lou would take the overall title because they have the most 1st places. So all 3 of them have realistic chances of taking this title home. We've got 2 laps basically to go. DKTsunami with 2 mushrooms. All 3 of the top contenders are shrunken now as we go into this grass cut for the first lap. All 3 players going through cleanly. The top 4 are really just all together here. Very exciting. We've got a shrink from everyone. Hattok is large, going to try and take out first place here, but hits a shell as Lou and Hattok both try to cut through the grass. That will negate most of the time. Players hoping for a star. DKTsunami needed a shock, but it gets stolen by iMathII, shrinking all 3 players again. Lou hits a bomb. What players are going to handle the chaos better? Lou, but ahead of the other 2, but they both have stars. This is going to be a chaotic final lap. I'm not even sure who wins if it finishes as it currently is. Hattok fires a star now, as does DKTsunami. Hattok tries to hit Lou, does not get it, but Lou does spin out, but gets a star of their own. Hattok hits a bomb. Lou taking out trees. Lou is now in first place. DKTsunami might be able to steal the title with a second place and lose in first, but DKTsunami takes second and gets 28 points, and I think that means DKTsunami will be your overall PA Meet 2024 champion.
Wow. There's claps all around here, and deservingly so. DKTsunami has played incredible over the last 2 days. It was so close. He barely made it into the finals. Just showing overall perseverance and endurance throughout this entire place. And what a great guy, you know. He was in the finals last year, lost, and now he's hugging his brother. It's an incredible, man. You know, Mario Kart, it might just be a game, but it means so much to people. It brings people together as it has here today, and it creates amazing moments like this one. I give my greatest congratulations to Dylan. Great job, DKTsunami. Now we're moving on to the awards ceremony. I'm passing it over to the main man, the host of this, Brody MK64.
So it's Brody here. We're going to talk to the DK. Dylan, let's get a speech. Speech. We need a speech. Speech. Dylan, take a seat. Well-deserved championship, man. We had the same finals as last year, and it was all within 3 points. You clutched out that second place because Lou would have had the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I did.
So you did it, and there it is. That last race, how many BPM? How much BPM was your heart going at?
A million. Probably infinite.
This is what 4-player versus is all about, guys. Yeah. Thanks to everyone who came out to watch. I'm going to leave it. That's correct. That also goes there. Is that the bottom of the bag? Yeah, you get a little decal for winning too. So, great job, Dylan. If you want to say some words, I'll pass the mic off to you.
Go for it. Just so much fun. And shout out to everyone here. Especially shout out to Glass. He brought over here. What did that even get here without him, probably? Look, the full 12-hour trip all the way. Shout out to the SMK community like Cal, Rack, Ashley,